Everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed that first XFL game, the Dallas Renegades.
Because that new.
What, the XFL? It's new. It's new, yes, but not new. Meaning that there was the XFL years ago and it failed, and they brought it back.
Timing is everything.
Yes. So I don't even know if they won because I didn't finish watching the game. So if you can hear us and you're watching this live, type L in the comments. If you're watching the replay, type R. Today we're going to talk about how this real estate market in 2020 has started out. Definitely.
It's good.
Yes.
It's really good. And the more that we talk to other agents, I think everyone is agreeing with our sentiments here.
Yeah.
We always actually have, as a team, a pretty good first quarter. We always have a pretty good start to January into the new year, but this is stronger than ever. I mean, we really hit a lull right before Thanksgiving, which is a little early for us to feel that from a seasonality standpoint. And it started picking up a little bit 2 weeks into December, which is also a little odd, honestly. But things have just been showings have increased in activities. We're seeing multiple offers and quite a few properties, as long as they aren't overpriced.
Yes. Yep.
Activity as a whole is just picking up.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the interest rates, right? So interest rates are at a 3-year low. So with interest rates being at this 3-year low, we're seeing a lot of buyers coming off that fence and saying, all right, now we're going to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
It's increase their purchasing power. Last year we were seeing interest rates, that 4.5. Some
even
people get
5.5, depending on credit.
5 to 5.5, depending on that credit. So this is really that, we're seeing a big refinance boom. We're talking to Mortgage Michael DeBacker over at USA Mortgage, and he's seeing more refinance than he has in a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's really kind of that perfect storm. I mean, when we look at everything, Collin County has 2.3 months of inventory, which is down 23.3% compared to last year.
Wow.
Now, the crazy thing is, all right, so if you look at 2.3 months of inventory, where do you think the days on market are as a whole in Collin County? If you had a guess.
45 days or less.
45 days. It's 52 days right now, which to me is still pretty high.
But you would think 2.5 months, but you're probably at 60 plus days.
2.5 months. I'm actually thinking about probably that 35-day range.
Okay.
Now you got to throw in a lot of new construction that may be kicking those
bit.
numbers. So we're at 52 days on the market in Collin County, which is down 3.7%. Prices are up 7.3% in Collin County to $379,160. So that throws in a lot of the new construction that's going on.
Yeah.
Though we're still seeing some opportunities to get some low 200s. I mean, we're doing a lot of those right now.
We're doing a lot, and I'm seeing on-market opportunities, not for an investor to go purchase something on the market, but I am helping quite a few clients right now find opportunities where homes are appropriately priced for condition and have that opportunity to go in and put some money in and still maybe have instant equity in the home too.
Yeah.
If it's that type of fixer upper, obviously if it's little things, no, but I just helped a client, we're closing on Monday, but put a contract under our home under contract for 75% of ARV, and they won't even utilize that full amount of money. They've probably got $40,000 they can work with for a reno. They'll probably not exceed 20. So they're going to be sitting in a good position.
Yeah. And if you don't know what ARV term is,
good point.
That's after repair value. So, and then reno is of course renovation.
Sorry.
Using all the slangs today. And then if we look at Dallas County, I didn't pull all of Denton County's numbers, but if we look at Dallas County numbers, they're very identical to Collin County. There's 2.3 months of inventory as well there. That's down 17.9% compared to 2019. The days in market are actually up. So this is where the days on market are up 18.5% to 32 days.
Oh.
Right. So things were selling a lot faster than the Dallas County market. And then we see home prices in Dallas County up 20.4% to $363,350. So the average sales prices are very similar. And so we're really starting to see, excuse me, that starter home being in that mid 250.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. And so what I want to see here is kind of like the buyer activity, right? You just had a client that you were telling me that they made an offer.
Yeah. So I have a client who made an offer on a home that was on market. And it's important to know that when we saw it, it had been on the market for 12 days. I always call every agent. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, what the activity is, mostly because there's a lot of times we can just have accepted an offer, status not changed yet. And I just want to make sure I'm not showing that home to my client because it never fails. They'll fall in love with that one. So when I did that, I found out when they first listed, they got multiple offers on the home. They accepted one. After inspections, without giving any information over to the sellers, those buyers just backed out. They really got wrapped up in the emotion of the multiple offers. And while the buyer's agent never forked over the inspection report, but said, no, this really isn't anything wrong, but they are still taking this opportunity to terminate. When that agent went back to, first of all, every other offer that was already submitted, within days, they had already all found other homes. So they had to go back on the market. We found the home. It really did fit my client's needs perfectly. And my client saw this as an opportunity, of course, to try and negotiate more aggressively. And he's a cash buyer as well. And, at first these sellers weren't willing to take our contingent cash offer because we weren't under contract yet. So we switched our offer to make it non-contingent, meaning they don't have to sell their home in order to purchase, still cash. But my client then said, if I'm going to do this, I want to be even more aggressive and lower our price. So this agent is a phenomenal agent. They're a listing agent. And he was like, they're just not willing to do that because the activity is too great on their home that they would rather hold off, not take this big of hit and wait, which as a listing agent, I would have done 85% of everything he did the same. During our negotiations back and forth, my client, another offer slipped in that just presented stronger from the get-go, was still contingent upon getting financing approval, but they chose to work with that because they got a little bit over the back and forth of the negotiations. And I don't fully blame them for that. I mean, we ended up coming back with a full price offer and they ended up not wanting to take back their word to the other buyers.
Yeah.
So they're actually technically taking less now than they could have with us, but it was a lesson for my client that this market is moving quicker. It was a reminder of me to stay that authority and to advise more aggressively than I should have maybe allowed them to. But I mean, multiple offers came back into play and that other offer did not know about us. So the agent did not tell me that another offer came in, which as long as we all know the same things, it's totally allowed. That's where I would have done something differently personally. But, we lost out on an opportunity that way. So now we're being a lot quicker and a lot more serious with our offers.
And what are you seeing now that because this client of ours is selling their house, right? So they're selling their home. What are you seeing in terms of all right, they lost out on this opportunity. There's 2.3 months of inventory going on. What are you doing to try to find?
Very honestly, I'm looking at off-market opportunities. Yeah. And I know that's become a little bit more of a sensitive subject with new restrictions put in place. But yeah, we don't love everything that's on the market. And I think about constantly, we know of homes typically anywhere from 1 week to maybe 1 month before they're hitting on the market. Some a little bit longer, but we know typically anything from there. So I'm utilizing all of my connections, my network, my relationships, and reaching out to agents who work the price point in the areas that my clients are in need of. And I was able to find 4 properties. One of those is now a very real contender that we saw yesterday. And these sellers have no intention. It's not being publicly marketed. So this agent's fully in alignment with the new rules from NAR, or National Association of Realtors. Just to, so you don't yell at me again. And we'll see if we end up moving forward with an offer on that one. We're going to look probably at a few others that are now in that price point because it's a little bit higher, but I am really utilizing my connections with agent and the business they're doing to try and bring more opportunity to my clients because we do feel inventory feeling low.
Well, and with that, so being proactive, right? So that being that proactive agent. Now, you talked about some regulation changes that are kind of maybe hindering that a little bit. Those regulation changes that the guideline changes.
It isn't though, in my opinion. Like it is because you can't publicly market it.
Yes,
but
so
that's where I utilize prospecting my relationships.
So the regulation changes are that you can't actively hold a pocket listing without putting in the MLS for there's a time frame. So if you actively have a listing that's going to go on the market, or you're trying to do a pocket listing is kind of that off market opportunity. There's a short window that you can do that before it has to go on the MLS, right?
24 hours.
Yeah, it's 24 hour short window.
Yeah.
Now there are some ways that why hiring that right agent is crucial, because what we can do as agents is build up our network and our connections, saying, hey, Elizabeth, I've got a buyer that is looking for X, Y, and Z. Do you happen to know of any properties that are coming up?
Yeah, exactly. Because as long as that agent's not publicly marketing
correct.
it, that's the
yes.
That's
right. And so
defined,
this is where it really helps to have your agent step up their game. If they're not making those,
and where relationships are so crucial.
Yes.
Like, that's why this is a new level that we're talking about, the impact of your network.
Yeah. And so this is, I think, is more crucial than ever, especially in the 2.3 months of inventory, which we weren't talking about that the last 18 months. So if you go back and look at our videos, we're talking about the rising inventory levels. Right. So we were looking, if I remember correctly, it was hovering just below 4 months of inventory, which was up, 18 and 19, we had increasing inventory levels. And now we're seeing a little bit of this decrease. It's because, one, we have those lower interest rates going on. And two, people, they're also kind of afraid of that selling and buying because they're afraid of that price. Right. But we're able to get people into taking advantage of the equity they've built, putting that into the next home, keeping their payments, not increasing it that much more. Right. We do a damn good job of making sure that we're not putting people into jeopardy.
No, yeah, I think we do a really good job of that, and we're really creative with how we structure deals. The biggest thing right now that has not really been a major concern for the past 18 months, like you said, is for those people who are seller buyers. Don't get me wrong when I'm about to say this, because we make it happen every time, but selling them and then being like, oh, we really just sold you. Now I do need to find you that next home, and you feel the pinch in inventory. I don't say that to scare you. Like, that's where we're utilizing these off-market strategies. Not a single one. I've got 3 in particular right now who we sold quickly, have quick closing dates coming on. Not a single one are we talking about any sort of interim housing. We're going to move them from one property to the next because of the way we structured it. But that's where we're feeling the pinch a little bit right
100%.
now.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, look, reach out to us, because
it's fun.
It's fun. But again, who you work with matters.
Oh, it really matters.
Right. Yeah. Too many times we hear, more often than not, like, every agent is the same, and it's truly not. There's a reason why Elizabeth is able to utilize these off-market connections that aren't being publicly advertised anymore, thanks to regulations. I say thanks sarcastically, because I do think that that hurts those off-market seller opportunities. It's supposed to help them try to get more offers, and it's not necessarily even just fair housing a little bit, but it's more about trying to make sure that the agents are doing right to get as many offers or the best price possible. But I think it also, in hindsight, hurts them a little bit.
I think it hurts more than it helps.
Yes, absolutely. But again, this is why your agent truly matters. Right. So reach out to us, 972-215-7653. Elizabeth will put her information down in the contacts below. Or you can go to thegoodhometeam.com. We'd like to talk to you about one, now is a great time to sell your house with these low inventories, these low interest rates. It should stay like that. They're predicting interest rates to be relatively the same the rest of the year. They're not predicting a huge, fluctuation. Yeah. But take advantage of this before we get into prime selling season, where we do typically see, prime selling April, May, June, and July, where we see those inventory levels coming up.
Yeah.
So absolutely reach out to us, guys, and we'll do this again next week.